Alright fellas, here we're back in Pokemon Masters, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Battle Rally again, but this time we've gotten a lot, quote-unquote a lot, of new information that it's actually extremely helpful for being able to get more points in the Battle Rally, or rather should I say, save more points. Oh god. Anyway, so I made the video yesterday, of course, with the guide to the Battle Rally, and all this stuff still holds up. All of it still holds up for the most part, but there is one thing that we got yesterday, and we've had since pretty much the data mine, but we never really paid too much attention to it until probably about yesterday, maybe a little bit before that, I'm not too sure. But this here. This is all the set boost roll areas. So if you remember, it's gonna take a while to find it here. Yeah. So if you go through here and you look at the bottom corner here, obviously we got bonus rolls for every single area that gives you more points depending on if you bring characters of those rolls or EX rolls, right? And this one, tech and support. Bring more tech and support rolls and EX roll characters, I get more points, right? Well, instead of that being random, so to speak, there are actually 25 different combinations on what Area 1 to Area 10 can be for the different sets of point boosters. So, thankfully, this was obviously posted here, and you can manually do all this. Like, for example, the way that this works is I know on Area 1 that the bonus is tech and support, meaning if I wanted to look at this, I could go tech plus support, 1, because it's on Area 1, right? Tech plus support. And since you, support, okay. Tech and support, you can see that out of all of these, as you can see up here, out of 1 of 4 options, there are only 4 available options that have the combination of tech and support for Area 1, meaning that this entire battle rally is 1 of 4 different battles. Or 1 of 4 different sets of roll boosts. So, for example, if I were to go and beat this battle and the next roll would be tech and sprint, I would know that, for the most part, it could be this roll bonus set, right, out of 1 of 25. So thankfully STDK made an upload to Pokemon Masters tools yesterday where you can now actually manually look at this instead of having to go to Absol's paste bin. The paste bin was useful and whatnot, right? But now we actually have a tool to manually actually edit this. And as they worded it, so if you input the area bonus rolls in this view, it will list the whole pattern once it finds a matching one. 9 stages require only Area 1. So, for example, if I were to find a specific combination in Area 1 and it were to be the only possible set boost, I would know from just beating Area 1 what the point boosts for Area 10 and in between are. Area 2, 11 require Area 2, so there's a good chance you'll have to at least unlock Area 2 so you can see what its roll boosters are, and then only 4 require Area 3, so if you get really unlucky, you may have to actually see what Area 3 is before you actually know the full pattern. In order to just better explain this, let's actually go to the tool, which if you go to the menu in Pokemon Masters Tools and then go to Battle Rally, you can select it here. So again, let's use the little area that I used for my video yesterday. So I put in my first boost, which was Tech, and my second boost, which was support. As we can see here, the only 2 options are actually support and sprint, meaning that if I were to look at this battle, any other combination of tech and support or tech and sprint would be invalid. It would not be a real set because it does not exist in this paste bin here. It is not actually in the game. So I opted to tech and support, and now obviously we know Area 1 is, right? Area 2, this leaves us with Area 2 only being able to be 3 of these types: striker, support, or tech. So I haven't beaten Area 2. I don't know what it actually is. So let's just pretend for the fact and just say it was striker. It could be one of these 3, but let's say it was striker. And now I know the pattern, because if we look in the pattern set here, if we look in all 25 of these sets, if we go through 1 tech and support, and we go through here, Area 2 support plus field, Area 2 strike, it should be strike plus sprint, Area 2 strike plus sprint. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead, pop this in here, and we know that with only tech and support as our first area and strike and sprint as our second area, we know that this is the only set that it could possibly be, meaning we don't have to buy. This is what I'm getting at. You don't have to buy the See All scope in order to see point bonuses. You can just input sometimes the first area, you may require the second area, and if you're unlucky, it may require the third area before it actually finds a pattern recognition. But once you get all that information entered, you'll be able to know from area 4 to 10 on what the roll boosts are. You will not know what the stages are. Like, you don't know if it's a battle challenge or a special Paseo Stadium or a champion stadium battle, and you won't know what the ultimate battle is. It could be Annabelle, it could be Dirac, it could be Argenta, it could be Palmer, it could be Lucy, it could be whoever, right? We don't know that, but we do know what roles are boosting the stage. So this way you can better preserve your characters, most notably your sprint and field characters, because sprint and field obviously are the less the roles with the least amount of characters and the I guess least amount of coverage, you could say. So you want to save those for the later battles or the more relevant battles if possible. So you know here how you can build your setup just by knowing area 1, 2, and sometimes 3. So, for example, if I were to, again, just know these two patterns here, I know area 1 and I know area 2, and I know the rest of this pattern now. I know that area 3 and area 4 require field sync pairs so that I don't use my field sync pairs too early, or I don't try and, I guess, save my field sync pairs for too late. This pretty much almost invalidates the need for the see all scope. There is still a good use for it in actually seeing what stages are weak to like what typings and, you know, planning out characters that way. That is still relevant, right? If you feel that you may need to actually know what the very specific stage is, like if it's electric weak, like battle versus Leaf or something in the special stadium, or you know that the final battle is, you need to know that the final battle is like Palmer's ultimate battle or something, then obviously buying the see all scope is your only way of actually knowing that information. But if you only need to know what roles are boosting, which is the biggest part probably of the see all scope, then you can actually go off and just not buy the see all scope and use either, you can manually search it in this paste bin, or you can use the tool that is on Pokemon Masters tools to actually see what all of the boosts are for the different roles. This means you can save 300 points in the battle rally and exchange those for rally medals instead of actually having to buy the see all scope. Obviously, I've seen most people, I think for like optimization purposes, most people only end up spending about 250 to 300 points on items, and then the other 300 would be on the see all scope. This means you're saving like half of your item consumption, and you could exchange those for more rally medals so you can get more roll cake vouchers, roll cake coin vouchers, 5-star power-ups, feathers, sync orbs, I guess, right? All of that stuff. So this is actually extremely, extremely useful. So if you all don't know about this, this is very, very useful. Again, the way it works is you would see what your area 1 details are. For example, let's go back, let's reset here. Let's say that my area 1 details was sprint and my area and my details were field. I would know that the next area is locked to sprint, and then I would know, and then I would have to beat area 1 and figure out what the next area's exact roll boosting is. We know it's sprint for one of them, but we don't know if it's strike or tech. Let's say it's tech. Again, there you go. You know all of the patterns. There are also some occasions, as STDK noted here, where you can actually find all of the patterns on area 1. I think it's striker plus something that may actually have it. I tested it out yesterday, and I found one pattern, but I don't actually remember. Yeah, striker plus sprint. So if you get strike plus sprint as your area 1 bonus, you'll actually know the pattern right from the get-go, meaning you don't have to beat area 1 at all. You don't have to do anything. You'll just straight up know, right? So again, this tool is going to be extremely helpful and extremely useful in saving your items and helping you plan out your teams without actually having to buy the see all scope. If you are someone who just wants to save as many points as possible and, you know, beat the battle rally, you'll probably only have to spend about 300-ish points on items, and you won't have to buy the see all scope. That is extremely point efficient and whatnot, right? And of course, don't buy the Apple Cup, right? Generally, from what I see from people, you would buy probably the see all scope. You would buy probably 300, 400-ish points worth of items, and then you would maybe buy the Apple Cup. That is what, like 1,200 points, right? Just buy all of that. Well, now that you can cut down on the see all scope and the Apple Cup, from what we know, that is saving you 800 total points. That's some insane stuff. So just be sure to obviously keep all this information in mind. And obviously, of course, this does not completely invalidate the need of the see all scope, right? Not entirely. because obviously knowing what stages are weak to what typings and what characters are going to be used there. Like, for example, if you see that this area is field and sprint boosted, but then you get to the actual stage and it's like the ultimate battle versus Penny or something, and you are not like prepared to deal with her kit, and you know, by bringing the wrong characters or something like that, then that could end up being a problem. But there are a lot of cases where I feel that for most people, you wouldn't have to worry about that too much. I feel that you would only really have to worry about typings and matchups and whatnot if you are a newer player, right? I think if you're a player that has joined within probably the last half year to 3/4 of a year, you may struggle a bit with these varying battles because of the complete randomness of it. And of course, having less time to build up your boxes and whatnot. But if you're an older player, like a year plus or something like that, then I feel that this alone is already extremely useful in not having to buy the See All scope, because you may already be kitted out enough to, handle. Okay, that's cool. In order to be able to actually handle all of these areas without actually knowing like what specific stage they are. Just by knowing the roll boost points, you can preserve and save and all that stuff extremely effectively. Anyway, that's all I wanted to do for this video. I wanted to really point out this tool here that's going to be extremely useful in saving you potentially 300 points for the battle rally. Very, very useful stuff. This means you could be extremely efficient and spend only 200, 250, 300, 350, 400 points on the battle rally, depending on how difficult or easy the battles may be for you, right? This is going to be extremely, item saving for you. And even if you are like a newer player, I feel that just spending, not spending 300 on the See All scope and just buying like maybe 100 or 200 more points in items to kind of make up the difference in not knowing what the enemy's actual weaknesses are, is extremely useful. Like, again, if you're a newer player and you need some more boosts to actually power up your sync pairs, instead of spending like 300 on items and 300 on the See All scope, you can spend 500 on items to make the battles easier, so it can kind of make up the cost of you not knowing exactly what the enemy's like type weaknesses or whatever the specific stages. So yeah, keep that in mind. But yeah, I'll see y'all later. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all use this tool and find great use in it. Of course, thank you to STDK for actually making a tool to figure this stuff out, and of course thanks to Absol for data mining the information in the first place, and making this all extremely useful for making the battle rally as most optimized as possible, and I guess as easy as possible, so to speak. But yeah, I'll see y'all later. Hope you all enjoyed. Good luck.